Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Giselle Fernandez. I'm so delighted to be here with you this evening in our nation's capital. MALDEF is the Latino legal voice for civil rights in America, and the mission is simple: to advance the constitutional civil rights of our nation's 50 million Latinos, a community with a count sure to grow after the results of the 2010 census are out. A member of MALDEF's board of directors, please welcome the founding principal of the IBARRA Strategy Group. He is a longtime leader of the DC Latino community. Please welcome Mickey Ibarra.
Before being named to Washington, D.C. Regional Counsel, last month, Jim served as the Legislative Counsel for the ACLU of Illinois in Chicago for several years. Please welcome the new leader of our MALDEF team here in Washington, James FERG-CADIMA, for remarks.
MALDEF and the broader civil rights community is deeply saddened by the loss of Dr. Dorothy Height. Truly the founding matriarch of the civil rights movement. Her good work spanned 6 decades as she headed the National Council for Negro Women for 40 years and advanced racial justice and gender equality, blazing trails for all communities of color, including the Latino community. Let's take a moment of silence to honor this legacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, to pay special recognition to our first honoree this evening, the law firm of Dewey and LeBoeuf and its partner, Henry Solano, please welcome MALDEF President and General Counsel Thomas SAENZ and MALDEF Board Member Tom Reston.
The organization's strong network of supporters yielded a leader who, through the beneficence of his law firm, Dewey and LeBoeuf, could step in with alacrity to direct and inspire MALDEF's strong staff in continuing their civil rights mission.
What I shall remember most about Henry Solano is his voice beyond the inner workings of MALDEF. How he went down to the border and into court demanding justice for the community.
For over 30 years, or 40 years, whenever there was an important issue or struggle, we were there because MALDEF was there. My job was to speak with them at a time when we were unfortunately, tragically, hit with the economic downturn and pressures that hit not-for-profit offices. I was constantly reminded of the grace, dignity, dedication, and strength of character of every single one of them. Something that is representative of the staff, all the staff of MALDEF, and something as a board member I had never had the honor and privilege of being so close at seeing. That vision, that culture is still here. It's part of what defines and distinguishes MALDEF as the law firm of the Latino community.
Congressman Becerra has been serving us not just as an elected official, but in government ever since he graduated from law school. He was an attorney in legal aid. He then worked for the state of California with the Attorney General's office, and then he became an elected official. So his career spans more than elected office, but truly has been a public servant. To me, he is the epitome of public service.
And for MALDEF to recognize me, I think, is as high an honor as I can have, because I believe that says that some folks at MALDEF believe I've tried to be there for those very people as well. Ese es mi deseo, poder decir que estoy aquí yo para mis padres, para mis amigos, para los que trabajan cada día. Someone has to be there for him or her, because too often they're too busy serving us. Too often they are out serving our country in uniform. And too often they're being beaten up and never having a chance to fulfill the rest of their lives. It's unfortunate that today, in a place like the state of Arizona, if only because of the color of your skin or the intonation of your voice, you may be suspect in that state and apprehended by the law enforcement authorities if the governor should sign this law, this bill that was passed by the state legislature. Alguien tiene que estar presente para ellos. Someone must be present for them.
Puerto Rican kid in the public housing projects, I personally benefited from Elaine's decades long of advocacy to open up doors for people all across this country, Black, Latino, immigrant, citizen, straight, gay. She's been at the forefront of civil rights.
Every single strategy and campaign she's ever done, every case she's ever done, has been about making the American dream a reality for everybody.
On a very personal level, Elaine is a perfect role model for all women, and particularly African American women. Bright, intelligent, compassionate. You couldn't have a better role model.
And my grandmother always said that justice is a relay race, and you better take that baton and run like the wind. And I can't think of anybody who's run a better leg than Elaine Jones.
MALDEF, MALDEF, MALDEF. I love the name. For 34 of the 42 years of your existence, you've been part of my life. I could tell I was with the right organization. Jack understood the need. When 3 Latino lawyers in San Antonio came to him and collaborated and said, we want to establish an organization similar to LDF. The need is great. There's nobody handling the cases and the legal needs of Latinos across this country, and they're growing. And we need some help. That is the study. That's the name of the game. It's collaboration. It's reaching out to one another. And if we can't help one another, don't get in each other's way. And it's the coalition that we have established these past 4 decades, which will see us across.
The granddaughter of Senator Robert F. Kennedy, please welcome human rights legal advocate MAEVE Kennedy McKean.
But for so many years, it was the men who were famous and who were making the headlines. Men like Cesar Chavez, like my grandfather, Robert Kennedy. But we all know that there were equally strong and inspirational women who were working just as hard and improving just as many lives.
You know, the relationship between Richard and Dolores, I mean, think about it. Richard and Dolores are really, truly a power couple. Dolores was there as a co-founder of the union, and Richard was there, you know, supporting his brother on every level possible.
To watch them together, it is so great to know that this powerful team who has so much energy.
You know, she is a dynamite woman. I mean, she's a firecracker. And what makes it work is that he supports her 1,000%.
When I think what Richard has done and the foundation that he has laid and what he has contributed.
Here's the greatest logo of all, and it comes from Richard. Now, Richard is a designer, he's an artist. So he was the artist of the family. And so Cesar said, give me something simple, and it should be the eagle, a strong symbol that shows patriotism, but also it also shows, you know, a symbol of Mexico, a symbol of the U.S.
Dolores Huerta is the very embodiment of personal power, of empowering the individual to make change. She did it then, she's doing it now, and I betcha she'll outlive us all and do it tomorrow. She's got a fuerza, man.
I think Dolores Huerta will be remembered as a real icon of the civil rights movement.
I want every young woman and man in this country to know what she's done, and really everybody around the world. This is a person with the mother of 11 children who has changed history.
Every generation there's a storyteller, and that's who Richard really is and who he's become. And what Richard wants to do is to make sure we don't forget who we are. You know, because if we forget who we are, then we have no idea where we're going.
In honoring MALDEF's 2010 Lifetime Achievement in Community Service Award recipients, Richard Chavez and Dolores Huerta.
When I was a young man growing up, we didn't have
MALDEF, where we didn't have many other organizations that we know now that do things for people, that help people. After Second World War, World War II, that's when I saw that things started to change. And so they started building organizations. I think that's when the GI Forum got the GI Forum National Council and Telacu and CSO and MAPA and PAPA and everything started coming around, you know. And so we had a lot of organizations that would do stuff. All the farm worker leadership comes from CSO. I can tell you that's where we learned how to organize under Fred Ross. And we thought, hey, this is fun. If we can organize the community, bring about change, we can do this in the farms and bring about change too. So that's where Dolores got the idea, this crazy idea of forming a union and so forth. And then they included me. I was minding my own business by then. And they also said, come on, we need you.
If we don't take some action, it's not going to happen. And I'm going to quote Dorothy Hyde, who is also a dear friend of mine. And she says, you know, we don't always have to agree. She said, we don't have to be in conformity, but we can be in unity, right? We can be in unity, and this is what we have to do. And we're going to take on Arizona, and then we're going to take on Texas, all right? I mean, gente, it is time. I mean, it is time. What are our people doing? Están dormidos, okay? We got to wake up, and we got to go to work, okay? We've got to get out there, and we're going to do it.
Now, I started by noting the difficult times that our community is in. These create a greater call for the services of MALDEF and its sister advocacy and civil rights organizations, many of whom are represented here tonight. In a time when a congressman can bark at the President of the United States on the floor of the House of Representatives in order to manifest his own xenophobia and prejudice. In a time when the state of Arizona can stand on the verge of enacting a law more redolent of apartheid and 20th century Mississippi than a 21st century multicultural democracy. In a time when U.S. senators can propose and debate the most blatantly unconstitutional attempt to deter our participation in the census. In a time like this, the need for MALDEF is indeed great. But we have every reason to be optimistic because we, in the broader civil rights community, have seen these times before and we have overcome. We thank you and we look forward to continued partnership with each and every one of you. Good evening.